Now? Yes. Okay. I don't know. So just know that we're on a hot spot. Okay. I'll erase this part. But if it kicks us off, don't worry. I will come over and I'll try to position things and get reconnected. Okay. So I think you can see me down here. So here I am in my little mommy's living room. She's got all her little puzzles over here that she's working on. And I have some kettlebells here. So here is a kettlebell. I have a 15 and a 10, I think. A 15 and a 10-pound kettlebell. So I'm going to use those. I'm going to use a chair. And this recording of our strength training class, because this is a Friday, is on location. So I want everybody that's coming on understand you can do appreciable strength work for functional strength training and loading to help with your osteoporosis issues, no matter where. You just have to say, I'm going to do this. I'm going to get on with this nutso of a lady, and I'm going to go through whatever she's doing for that hour. Okay? So see what I'm doing? Do you see this? See how I'm shifting and I'm going like this? This is our warm-up kind of, and we're going into our class. So whenever I put my foot up here and I shift, what you don't see me doing, which I am doing, is I'm shifting, but I'm doing a tiny bit of a hip hinge. It's not a lot. And my knee goes soft so that, in fact, I innervate and I contract all my leg muscles in order to do that. You have no idea how much contraction, when you do it that way, is going on right now. As you shift, you do a tiny bit of a butt pushback, not so much that you do this. See, that's not what I want right now. I want you to warm up and load and start contracting all those muscles down the connection of the line of your core. And then I just put a little bit of a soldier arms here, see? So what I want you to do is think of your thumb coming to your shoulder. See, I don't want much more than that. So everybody coming on, welcome. So this is just kind of doing a warm-up, getting ready to do some lifts. And this is a class, and it'll say right on the YouTube channel, on location, meaning even when you're on vacation. And I'm all for taking a break, but I swear, if I take a break more than 2 weeks, wow, do I feel it. So see what I'm doing? I'm doing this repeated move to warm me up. This is a much higher level work to warm you up than just walking. See, if we're walking, we can walk and walk and walk and walk and walk and walk, and it's great. However, when you go into a little shift, a little knee softness, drop your shoulders, and you lift, and you put all your body weight now on one leg. See that? And then I work my upper body by just doing an arm swing. See that? And I'm emphasizing putting your thumb to your shoulder because, in fact, I don't want you going higher. Okay? Now we're going to keep our arms about this level. Every time I go into a shift, see, I do a butt pushback, tighten my tummy, drop my shoulders, shift. The knee is soft. So I'm going over all these things constantly because, in fact, doing a class with me, like I do them, is very important to go through a kind of a postural tutorial. Like every time you bring that leg up, You need to be thinking proactively. You need to be thinking, okay, what if I did something like this? Watch. Oh, see that? What if I did that and I just didn't get my leg up high enough? If this leg were locked out and I was doing this and just willy-nilly putting my leg up there, I'd be falling. So I want you to be thinking proactively when you do your movement patterns. Now I'm going to bring my arms right here. Now I'm going to go hinge. See this? So we're still coming into the tail end of our warm-up, y'all. This is going to be on the YouTube channel of things that you can do to load, to do some appreciable loading of your frame when you're on location, when you don't have a lot of equipment around you. And typically, like for instance, I'm thinking of my old cousin Elisa out there. Good for her. She went on vacation and she was in her fifth wheel and she tuned us in. And also if you're doing like that and you just don't have a lot of weights with you, you could actually go out and get a couple rocks if you wanted to. Okay, but the name of the game is to load your frame. So now that I've done this repeated several minutes of high stepping, see this? This is a high step tap. So what I want you to ask yourself, those of you who are, if you just happened on this channel, or those of you who've been with me for a long time. So a lot of you that are coming on this channel need to understand that some of these people have been with me literally for 20 years, okay? Or 10 years. Doris. I'm thinking of Kathy. I'm thinking of so many people. Anyway, once we've done this repeated stepping like this, and then we come up here and we do a hinge move. See, this kind of a thing is starting the loading and it's starting warming. But your posture is so important. So drop your shoulders again, keep your tummy tight. And so here's where I'm going with this. See, when I'm shifting, some of you haven't been thinking, how's my weight going into my foot? Okay, how's it going into my knee? How's it going into my hip? And if you do just a tiny hip hinge and a knee softness so that you're going like this, back and forth, see that? See that? See, I'm just stepping and I'm pressing into the whole foot. So I want you to finish this warm up as we go into our loading section, is thinking, how am I stepping into my foot? Am I coming into it on one side versus the other side? I'm not leaning a ton. I'm still doing hinges just like this. But when I step into that whole foot and my knee is soft and my hip is hinged back just a little, oh my goodness, you're starting to get very great loading, body loading, coming down your whole frame in a proper fashion. And in fact, I can go from this to a step back, a step front, a step back, a step front, a step back. And when I step back, I want to think, what is happening with my foot when I push it back there? Some of you are stepping, and you see I'm not stepping back very far. Do you see that? Yeah, so this is pushing you into a little bit higher zone and breathing. And when you push your foot back, turn your toe into your in step, okay? Turn your toe into the midline. See, this is the midline. And when you step back, unless you're thinking, oh geez, I don't want my toe to go out, you will put your toe out. And if you put these arm moves at the same time, you got to think of all that stuff as you're stepping back. And I'm just pressing back with my elbows and I'm keeping my toe forward. as I step back. So this is repeated positive loading in your foot, your knee, your hips, your back. Keep your shoulders down, goes right on up into the spine when you add this little move, okay? Take a big breath. Now, I'm doing this move as a modification of a very similar move that instead of stepping back with one leg at a time gently and a little, there's some of you that are coming on here that in fact could do a higher level loading. And it entails a tiny, I'm not going to say jump, it involves a tiny pressing back of both feet at the same time. And you're sitting here thinking, well, what is she talking about? Well, again, I'm going to do it for you, but those of you who have joint issues, you have plantar fasciitis, you have any kind of a back issue, and you're not quite sure of your form, bring your elbows down now. Keep the move going, but bring your elbows down. I know some of you are going, does she know how many of these I've done? And I would say, well, kind of, but Kathy knows for sure how many, because she's a counter, okay? So here's the deal, shoulders down. Okay, don't be not thinking about that foot, because it has to be straight on. See that? Now, keep doing this. All of you who are not quite sure what I'm going to do here, all right? But there's those of you, I'm thinking of Judy. I think Kay does this. Thinking of lots of different people that can do a little higher end, and this is a loading class today, right? So I'm going to show you how to do body load. This is one way. I want you to keep doing it. Keep your knees soft. Get the heel down. All of that. See this? Now I'm going to go to the more advanced move in this very step right here. I'm going to put my elbows down. See this? See this? Now some of you should not do this. Next thing, you should just keep doing this. I'm thinking of Chrissy if she's on, which I'm not so sure she is. She needs to be careful loading anything right now because of a knee issue. Okay, keep going. Now I'm going to show you the next level right now. So I'm right here in the same thing. I'm going to do a little press, and I'm coming into a gentle press. See that? It's a press. It's a press. I'm tight. I'm down. I'm pushing my butt back. I push off my toes. I come into my toe. It's a barely a lift, and that's what I'm going to call it. It's a lift. And those of you who are not wanting to do a lift where you have just a split second in the air, you do this, or you continue to do this. See? I can get some of the same benefits. It just takes longer because it's not quite as intense. That's all. See, I can do this, or I can do this. Heels up, heels up. See that? Heels up, tight tummy. Heels up, heels up. See that? Or I can do this. Tight, tight, tight. Press, tight tummy. Big breath, big breath. Ah. Just a tiny press. A press. Press. And so, if you do this kind of work, you might do a set of 10. Maybe 2 sets of 10. Okay? I can tell you, if you get to 2 sets or 3 sets of 10, and you're really coming in the way I want you to come in, to your toe box, okay? Pull that elbow back. Keep your tummy tight. Keep your chin down. That you're going to feel this in your calves tomorrow if you do the whole thing. And see, I'm barely lifting past a toe lift, or a heel lift, I should say. Okay? And if I don't want to do that vigorous, I just simply lift my heels up. So this is the one that I would choose for anybody having plantar fasciitis issues, knee issues, any of that. All you do is go to your toe with a hip hinge. See this? See this? That's all I'm doing, only I'm lifting my whole body weight off the ground for a split second. You see? And because of that, you talk about the change in workload. Wow. See, if I'm doing this, okay, keep your shoulders down, keep your tummy tight, butt pushed back, and I go from this, keep really tight here, keep your knees soft, to this, where I'm actually off the ground for just a split second. Wow, there's a huge difference in workload, okay? Breath, breath, keep the elbows back, breath. See, I'm into my, I'm thinking third set, maybe? Breath, breath. I'm just gonna do 5 more. Breath, breath. So I'm keeping very soft. I'm keeping my chin tucked. I'm pressing, but if I can't do that, I lift my heels continually and at a good pace. See this? Number 1, it's going to get you breathing deeper. Number 2, you're going to load your whole frame. So if you're on location, and let's say you had no weight, and you're like, dang, I really want to keep my bones strong. What do I do? What do I do? I can't run, I can't jump, I can't, No, do what you can. This is a great way to get loading, but gently. See, all I'm doing is lifting my heels with my arm swing. See, it's just a pull, push, and I can tell you, those of you who have real considerations with your joints, you do this right here 50 times, oh my goodness, you're going to feel it, okay? But step up, and it's just right there, right there. I'm into the last 5. Breath, yeah, okay, just like that. Just a very gentle press. It's not even a jump, it's a press. Breath, I think that's maybe 5. I don't know. Okay, there you go. How do you like that? So here's my chair. Take a big breath. Put your hands here on your chair. Step back and come back up. Now, those of you who have shoulder issues, this is the way you start to enter into doing body loads for your upper body. You don't put it all on your upper body. You go half on your foot, half up here. So you do it very carefully. See how my elbows are bent, my shoulders are down, I step back, and I don't fully go into that back foot. So I'm shouldering it here and here, okay? And then I switch. So I go back, I take a big breath, and I come back up. So here's what I do though. And this, if I were with you, I would be watching you, because the minute that you put your foot back, what do we all want to do? What do we want to do? We want to go like that. See that? That's not what I want you to do. I want you to stay forward so that your shoulders are over your wrists. Then I want you to do that foot exchange. And whenever I press back, I want to keep my shoulders over my wrists. I want to keep my tummy tight, my chin tucked, and I'm just pressing my heel back. I may not be able to get it all the way down at the beginning, okay? Now, sure, if you go like this, well, of course you can get it down, but that's not what we're trying to do, is it? Okay? So, you step that leg back, you shoulder some of this weight with your supporting leg, you press that heel down, you keep nice and tight in your tummy, you keep your chin tucked, not your head tucked. See, my chin tucked looks like this, ears over the shoulder. See that? When you drop your head, that's what we don't want, okay? until I start to feel it not so tight in my calf, okay? So you don't hit it hard, but you do it continuously, and you keep going, and you keep checking your position, and you keep your elbows soft, and you're putting gentle pressure through your hands. Take a breath, and you just keep pressing back. So those of you who have issues with knees, with feet, with all kinds of stuff, this move is a partial unloading of your weight on those delicate structures. But you're still being able to do a movement pattern that really is very advantageous and beneficial to your foot, your ankle, all your lower body, your back especially. And now, as you've held on to it for a while here, your arms, okay? And in this position with my chin tucked, I'm working the back of my head and neck, all right? Breath, press, breath, press. Okay. One more on each side, okay? Breath. See, I heard Kathy. She was saying, geez, do you know how many you've done? And I would say, yes. Sorry, Kathy, I have to keep messing with you. Okay, see what I just did? See, I'm coming right here. I'm gonna press back, press back, press back, press back. And then I come back up. So my hands are gently on the back of the chair. My back is extremely extended. Breath, 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 breath. I come in back up. Take a big deep breath. Here we go, here we go, here we go. Bring the elbows in. And now you're starting to load your heels, okay? So we haven't even done that yet. And this is an assisted squatting. See this? So my hands are right here. I'm pressing into my heels. I'm gonna come back up. Take a breath, get repositioned. Here we go, push the butt back. Drop the elbows to the back of the chair. Yes. Then come back up. Take a big breath. Here we go. So the very first move that you do should be pushing your taillights back, tightening in your tummy, dropping your shoulders. Right there into the heels. And then come back. Breath. Breath, 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 breath. And then come back up. Two more. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. I'm on.
Good.
This gentleman is my brother. He's interrupting my class.
Hey, folks.
That's my older brother that I tried to follow him all around town when we were kids on our bikes. Here we go. Big deep breath. So I'm right here. I've done my squat backs. Yeah. I did my jumps, which we will revisit those in just a moment. Okay. So right now, I'm going to load through here. Okay. So I'm going to shift. And I'm going to bring a knee soft. And I'm going to come right here. Okay. So now we're loading, loading, loading. And I'm going to go tap right here. See that? See that? And if I need to, I would have my chair in front of me and have my hands gently on my chair and shift and do the tap right there. See that? So if I'm struggling, okay, I would rather you get the move than struggle with your balance, okay? So you could do this with your hand on a wall, on a table, whatever, whatever, whatever. But if you need to do this in order to keep you from over or under balancing, okay? So I'm not going to go into a big hip hinge here. I want to be pretty upright, okay? So rib cage up, shoulders dropped, shift, soften your knee. Don't really do a big hip hinge. Just soften your knee a tiny bit and come right to here. See that? Now, Some of you out there are saying, oh, I can go really high. And then I say, well, show me how you can do that. And they'll go like this. See that? I don't want to turn that toe up. I'm going to come right here. So I'm just gently holding here. And I'm going to go like that. Breath. See that? See that? And I'm going to keep it swinging. That's the wrong word. I'm going to keep lifting it with my knee very soft. All my weight now is coming in here. Just a second. Keep going. Keep going. So here we go. Right here and back down. Now, to really get the benefit from this, sure, I could put bands on your legs. I could put weights on your ankle and go for it. However, if I just maintain, I do a hip back position, tight tummy, and I keep at this for at least a set, possibly two, right here. And my foot is in dorsiflexion. See that? See that? Big breath. Big breath. Big breath. Okay, keep making adjustments if you get off. All right, keep that ankle leading. So this is lifting. This leg that's lifting is very doable because it's your body weight. Yes, as I've trained myself and people, sure, if I can put a 3, a 5, even a 10-pound weight on my leg, that's great. However, this is what you need to hear. What if I can't even do 30 with no weight? Well, then don't put any weight on there, okay? You get to where you can. Now we're going to switch on the other leg now, okay? So here I am. And see, I'm not going to grip this. I'm going to barely place my hands here. Only one little tiny point of contact. This is going to be my lifting leg, but this leg is your working leg because it's doing what? It's hanging on to your weight in this kind of a move. And I'm going to keep my toe in, and I'm going to lead with my ankle. So I'm really, we did these the other day on the ground a lot with working with the hip complex. Try not to over lean. Try to keep the toe in. Take a breath, just like this. You just keep, and notice how much pressure you're putting into your hands. If it's an inordinate amount of pressure in your hands, then you need to stop. You can have your hands here, but put the weight here, okay? So here I go, breath, and I'm just gonna come up, not super high. The minute I start to turn my little toe, like the minute I start to do this, see, I wanna stop and say, no, 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 that's not what I wanna do. I wanna keep my toe turned into the midline. So I'm gonna come like that, take a breath, and I'm just going to stay with it. I'm going to try not to lean. I'm going to try to stay straight on, okay? And so people with multiple hips replaced, well, 2. Maybe you would have more than one hip replaced several times, but generally you have 2 hips. Just a joke, okay? Kathy is going, oh my goodness, it's getting mad. Okay. Tight tummy, all right? Stay in that move. See, I gave you a little break. I hope you noticed that. I gave you a little break. Okay, stay upright. If you have a hip replaced, you're going to have a very, very, very bad habit of over-leaning on a move like this. And this move is so important to your adductors and your abductors. That's the muscles, the ligaments, the tendons controlling outside, inside motion for your hip and your leg, and it does all kinds of cool things for the pelvic floor, for the all the hip complex, and you want to stay in there and keep that lifting until you can do 30 repetitions. Does it get boring? Well, yes, but so does brushing your teeth get boring. So it's just something that you got to do if you, in fact, want to keep living your life, okay? And then it's going to help you to be able to do the dance class or the lifting or the whatever. Don't put your hand on there. This is my brother who rides bikes, and he's the Oklahoma State road racing champion.
I don't ride bikes, I race them.
He races bikes. He races bikes. He doesn't ride. I ride. He races. Anyway, it's kind of a love-hate relationship with him. Okay, people with brothers understand. Breath, breath, breath. Okay, bring it back in. Take a big deep breath. Yeah? Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick up something. I'm on location, so I'm using minimal weight. Those of you who have anything to pick up, it could be a 4-pound sack of beans. Pick up a 4-pound sack of beans. It could be your weight. Okay, what I'm going to pick up and just hang on to this kettlebell, and it's 15 pounds. So that's what I'm going to hang on to. See this? It's going to come from here to here. Now, if you have a dumbbell, you just grab one dumbbell, pretty heavy, and you put it right here. See that? And you bring it right to here. See, I don't want it any more than that. I want to be doing a hip hinge. So by virtue of doing a hip hinge, you are innervating your back extensors right now. See that? See how I just let this come down? I push my butt back just a little. I keep my chin tucked, and I come right here. Look at my elbows. They are not flaring. They're in. Okay, so there I go. I'm going to come right to here. Now, we're going to do some funny things with our foot position. So we did some straight on squats, assisted. Now I want you to turn your toes out, in fact. And this is a pretty narrow stance, you know, shoulder width. Not super narrow, not like a pinpoint. But see how my feet went out? Yeah, just a little. So why am I having you do this when I'm constantly, a normal squat where you're going to take huge loads, it's going to be with feet forward. But right now we're going to do something for the whole pelvic floor and for your gluteals, your adductors, and your abductors, and your hamstrings. It should not be super hard, but it's going to feel a little weird. Okay, drop your shoulders, okay? And I'm going to come right to here. See that? And then I'm going to hold this right here, under my chest. And I'm going to push my butt back as if I was going to sit on a high bench. So that is the important move. I'm going to put my butt back like I'm going to sit on a little high bench. So act like you're going to just tap the bench right there. My feet are out like a deck. Okay? So I'm thinking of Julia. I know her feet are really out because that's how she was trained in dance. Okay? But I'm doing this specifically to help with pelvic floor muscle, gluteal, core. All right? It should not be super hard. Okay? I can't emphasize that enough. Now we're going to do about 4 more with our feet out right here. We're going to do about 10 at a time. And we're going to hit 3 different feet positions. Okay, look at my elbows. See, they're in tight. And I'm holding on to this weight right here. And it could be like this. See, I can hold on to it like this if my hands get tired that way. The point is I want weight coming into your frame. It could be a weight vest. Let's say if you have a weight vest. So here's the deal. I'm not going to bend over forward too much. What am I doing? I'm doing a little move, acting like I'm going to sit on a high bench. Okay, this is it. There we go. Take a breath. take the weight, put it all the way down to the floor, okay? While you're on the floor, putting the weight down, I want you to grab your calf or your ankle, and I want you to straighten those legs, okay? Your feet are straight now. Now, bend those knees and come back up. Take a big, deep breath. Open those hands straight out. Pull right back, okay? And then pull the other one. Keep your shoulders down, shoulders down, shoulders down. Pull and pull and pull, pull and pull and pull. Take a big breath. Now we did feet straight on. We did a number of things, feet straight on. We even went into with a chair-assisted loading squat. We went deeper. Then we did the duck position. Our feet are out like a duck, right? And we just did a minimal push back on our butt, okay? I want to really emphasize that when you do this little push back, you don't go forward. You're pushing back. So pat yourself right here and just say, okay, if Jeannie was here, she'd be pounding me right here so that I don't lean over, okay? And then you come up and you squeeze. So you release, and then you come up and squeeze your butt. And then you push back. So we did that with a weight, right? Now I want you to do in with your feet, okay? So my feet are going to be turned in. As far as you feel comfortable, turn them in, all right? Got it? Now, here we go again. I didn't pick up my weight yet, and some of you maybe should do this without a weight until you get it. So by doing all those positions with your feet and doing a high hip hinge, little, I'm not even going to call it a squat because it's not. It's a push back with the butt as if you were going to touch the backs of your legs on a high bench. Got it? Keep your chin tucked. Keep yourself upright. Don't hunch over. All right? So I'm pushing back. I'm keeping my knees soft as I touch that bench and then come back. So now I'm going to go ahead and grab the weight. So if you can grab your weight with your feet in that same position, put the weight into your frame. See, I can hold it like this if I'm tired of holding it with my hands. So now I've just added 15 pounds to my whole frame, okay? So this is a much better way to add weight and to take off weight. Something you pick up in your hand and put down. Take a breath, drop your shoulders, do that little push back. I'm not even going to call it a squat because it's not. Because we're not doing this for the muscles that typically you associate with squatting. We're doing this to innervate muscles that are connected into your back and into your pelvic floor muscles, okay? Big breath, big breath. So the idea here is to get to where you can do 3 sets of 10, pretty much every day, because this is gentle, all right? So I just wanted to show you, though, that now I've taken this gentle thing and I've turned it into a carry, like I'm holding or I'm carrying this weight right here. See that? Take a big deep breath. We're going to do about 4 more, all right? My toes are in. I'm keeping ribcage up, chin tucked. I'm pushing my butt back. Okay, one more. Here we go. Yes, right there. Okay, I'm going to put that 15-pounder down. And this might be 5 pounds. I think this is 5 pounds, not 10. Okay? So, pick yourself up a 5-pound weight. And how can you do that? Well, if you're at home, see, you can pick up your weights that you have. You can pick up, so I'm not going to do this for the arms necessarily. That's why maybe pick 2 pounds, 2 pounds, or 4 pounds, 4 pounds, or something light, or 1 5-pound, or 1 6-pound. All right, so it's right here. See this? I'm hanging on to it right here. See that? So it's into my frame. So here I'm gonna go. You remember the move that we did at the very beginning, and I told you it's modification. You can either push back and step back repeatedly. Remember that? Well, we're coming full circle back around, and we got to wait now. So I have picked up a 5-pound kettlebell, and I'm pushing it right into my chest, and I'm going to step back. So this is modification 1, right? Back, keep my rib cage up. As I step back, I want that toe pretty straight, pretty straight. So this is a gentle work for anybody that has consideration with not putting too much weight into a delicate foot, a delicate knee, etc., and still being able to get good body loading. So I took my body weight, but I added a little bit of a weight. I don't want a huge one because I'm going to go through the different modifications. Here's one modification. The other modification is lifting the heels and doing it in a controlled lift. Take a breath, keep your shoulders down, keep your tummy super tight, keep your chin tucked, and see you're just pushing into the toes. And anytime you get tired of doing one, go to the other one. See? Now I'm fixing to go to the higher level. Not the highest, but the higher level. Okay? So here's the one modification. Go to that anytime. Or heels up. So people that are recovering from hamstring issues, Kathy, this is a great way to do it because you're doing it together. It's gentle, but it's pushing those muscles because we're trying to get into a 30-rep situation here. See that? So you have to increase your endurance before you really start going into heavy strength work when you have a damaged muscle or a damaged anything. Okay, now I'm fixing. That word fixing is in my KD made up a tutorial for understanding my vocabulary. Fixing just means I'm thinking about it. I'm not quite ready to do it, but I'm thinking about it. And I'm ready to go now. So I'm going to go from here to this heel lift position, and I'm going to do a little press. See, I'm not calling it a jump. It's a press. And if you have full control, you can be tight in a knee down position, very bent, and tighten your butt. Really tighten your gluteals. Whoa. Breath, 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 breath. Hang in there. Breath. Go, go. Breath, breath, go. Hang in there. Remember, anytime you need to, you go to the heel up position or the foot step back position. So those are the 3 that I'm doing. Now, this one, whenever I'm working with younger students, especially athletes, especially in gymnastics or basketball or any of those sports, you go from this tiny little push. See this tiny push, and I have to stay tight, tight, tight. The whole time I'm holding this weight into my body, super tight. You go from this to a real, like a frog jump, and you come down, explode up, down, explode up. But that's not our purpose. But you see, we got muscles just like them that need to stay tuned up. And those muscles working harder than they're used to working is what's going to pull on your bones. That's what's going to keep your bones dense. That's how strength work and activity works at helping osteoporosis issues. Okay, I'm going to do 6 more. Stay with me. Keep your shoulders down, tight tummy. Anytime you get tired of this, step back, or heel lift. Heel lift. Okay, so I keep going over it because I just want you to know the modifications and that they work. But you're the one that has to work it. Breath, breath, and breath. Woo! And put this down. So, my purpose in doing those little presses, see, I'm not calling them jumps, is to get you to breathe deeper. Many of you are skirting with COPD, and one of the big reasons that we step into COPD is because we don't even once a day move a deep breath, and we have injuries that prevent us from doing what we used to do. Well, okay, what we used to do ain't gonna work anymore, so we have to figure out other ways to do it. So step wide, and we're recovering. I'm gonna rotate to the side. I'm gonna rotate to the side. See, I'm taking my thumb, I'm going right underneath my chin and bringing the elbow down. And as I do this, I just momentarily lift the leg, and I just rotating back and forth using all the moves that I introduced in the warm-up. Yeah, breath, breath, say ribcage up, chin tucked, keep your butt pushing back, and when you lift your foot, actually you don't even lift it. You just press into the leg that's holding your body weight, and the leg will come up on its own, okay? Big breath like a stick man. Breath, see that? See that? So you just go back and forth, keep your toe tucked down, okay? Keep it turned, I said down, I mean into the instep. Keep the elbows coming down. So see, this move right here could be a very healing move for a lot of people with shoulder issues. So if you keep your shoulder down and you just move the shoulder, move that ball and socket, see? It's just moving around, but it's not with hands raised significantly. And if you're holding your position like this and all you're doing is rocking with your weight on this leg and then allowing this leg to come up, keeping the toe tucked in, right now, if you've been doing this with me, you should be feeling some powerful heating up right in here. Huge. Big breath. Yes, stay with me, stay with me, stay with me. So this is a resting segment, see? This one is a resting. Okay, bring them in. Turn your toe out. See that? Immediate release. Turn your toe out. Immediate release. Okay? Take a big deep breath. Shake out, shake out, shake out, shake out. Now I'm going to go back to my 15-pound kettlebell. And I'm going to do a controlled lift in as I tuck a heel up. Jim just likes to get on camera. That's the only, he's a camera hog. He has to keep coming in and out. Because
you all need to tell her this would be better with music. You know, maybe some up-tempo oldies.
Then they couldn't hear me. They want to hear my voice so bad.
I see, okay.
Okay, are you ready? You see what I have to deal with? Okay, so you're going to take your kettlebell and you're going to curl. See this? Now, this is a kettlebell. None of you have a kettlebell, or at least I think you don't. Use your weight. Get any weight that you have. So I'm on location. I'm using whatever I found. And I went over to the barn and I found these two kettlebells. Okay? Right here. And bring it back down. See that? So you put your hands together in your weight, whatever it is you're picking up, and you're going together. Those of you with shoulder issues, you can keep your bicep relatively strong by keeping your elbows in, loading an appreciable load, see, and just pulling. Don't sling it. It's very controlled. See, my back is extended. How do I keep my back extended? Everybody should be yelling at the screen. Rib cage up, rib cage up. Yeah, I know. I'll have to ask everybody. I always use music, when we were in the gym, because you could hear me pretty well. But with all this Zooming stuff, sometimes you can't hear. And that's why I haven't used it, but maybe that's coming. I don't know. We'll see. So see how I'm doing this? So my hip is back, my toe is back. Now I'm super loading. And what are the modifications? Here's number one modification. Don't even think about using a foot. And if you have a delicate hamstring, knee, feet, do not put your foot back. I'm warning you. You just do it this way. See this? You do that. If you can and you're good to go, you're going to shift. You're going to put your toe down. And as you lift, you're going to bring your heel up. See that? So you're doing a compound move. All right? But some of you should not, in fact, do this move. For the simple fact that it puts too much pressure on those delicate feet, knee, whatever. Step, take a breath, shift, put your foot back. Lift in, pull the heel in. See how that's feeling? Put it down, okay? Or don't do this one with your foot. Just do the curl with your weight that you chose. Breath, pull, breath, breath, go, breath, pull, breath. Just three more, stay with me. Pull, two more, pull, one more, pull. Yay. Put your weight down. Take a big deep breath, hands out to the side, like this, like a T, and just cross over. See that? See that? My foot is straight in the back. The crossover foot is straight. Shoulders are down, tight tummy. And I'm going to be doing this. Remember this one? Listen, if you're on location and you have nothing around you, no weights or anything like that, use your own body weight. Yes, you're going to need to do more repetitions, but you're going to shift now. I'm going to step over here, and I'm doing these controlled, not fast, shoulder circles. And you might say, well, it's your hand circle. No. It's your shoulder circle that I'm trying to get you to do. See, the shoulders come up, down, back, up, forward, back, up, forward, back. See that? Go slowly. Here we go. Up, forward, back. As I gently step over, both of my feet are pointing forward. Okay, this can be a very difficult thing for people. All right? Look at my shoulders. So it's definitely a circle. So you come to the ears, then you go forward, then you push down, then you go back. That's how I want you to do this. Okay? And yeah, I'm shooting for 30. I am. I think I'm probably halfway right now. Here we go. Breath.
More than half.
Oh, maybe 20. Okay. 6 more. All right. Breath. See, those of you who are joining us on YouTube and you've never been in my class, I have a professional counter. And so she will cue us once in a while. I think that was 6. Okay, put your hands down. All right, I heard you. Okay, bring it back. Shake out, shake out, shake out. Swing. See the pendulum? See the pendulum? I'm going to go this way, and then I'm going to go this way and this way. So if you are a person that have delicate shoulders and you're in fact rehabbing your shoulder, if you leaned into like a bench or a table or something and you're over here, you should be able to do pendulums gently and help your shoulder in its mobility. So I'm just doing them both together because I can, and I'm not lifting. So you don't see me bending or lifting. I'm not doing this. I'm doing a pendulum from the shoulder joint. Okay, it's very gentle. And then you go from side to side as if you're doing a golf swing kind of thing or warming up for a golf swing. Take a breath. So these kind of moves are the very moves that some people that are trying to train for a better golf swing. So it has lots to do with your shoulders. And I'm going to go one at a time, kind of like mixers. See this? So how is my stance? Knees are soft, my butt's pushed back, my tummy's tight, and I'm doing this little mixer thing. See? I'm on all four corners of my feet right now, all right? With my pressure. Then I'm going to push back up. I'm going to tighten my butt just for a second. Drop my shoulders down. Now I'm going to soften my knees. I'm going to release anything tight in the gluteal. And I'm going to push my hips forward, okay? My toes are forward. My knees are definitely soft. No tightness. Drop your shoulders and push, 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 push. So if you're on location, let's say you're on a vacation somewhere and you did a lot of walking. It could be sightseeing, you know, I have lots of travelers in that tune in and keep trying to be real regular while they're on vacation. This kind of thing you can do anytime during your walk. If you start feeling tight into the hip and the lower back, just go over to a wall somewhere, put the tops of your shoulders on the wall, tuck your chin, and push your hips out. I did this for like 10 minutes in the airport yesterday, okay? So push, tight, don't tighten, don't tighten. You're pushing, your knees are soft. Okay, this should be feeling so good to some of you out there to get very tight into your hip flexors or into your back. This is a specific move for your back. Okay, last move, here we go. I know you thought I wouldn't remember. I remembered. Kathy's rolling her eyes now. Kay's like, so glad I'm gonna do these. This is for you, Kay. Okay, palms up, see that? See that? Palms up. Now, here's the deal. All I'm going to do is kind of step in line with or in the middle with my foot. If you feel you can, put your leg all the way over like this, then good, do it. But be very careful, keep your knees soft. When your hands are up here, they're very straight, okay? Now the circle goes in the direction of the thumb, okay? Here we go. Tight tummy, and what's that circle? What's the circle? So the shoulders have to come up to the ears, then back, then down, then forward. See that? You have to get all those four parameters, all right? Otherwise, you know what this turns into? You're just kind of going like this, and you're not doing anything to affect the shoulder girdle, the whole shoulder girdle. Here we go. Breath, breath, breath. Down, out, up, back, down. And if you have to say that while you're doing this, then stop and say it. I don't mean stop, I mean slow down. And really use your shoulder girdle. Okay, now those of you, even though this is where we're trying to move to do it, there's some of you out there with shoulder issues such that it is like, oh, you just can't do it up here. Okay, drop your arm, straighten your arm, drop them, and do everything down here, okay? Because you're not ready to come right out at the shoulder. So I hope that's beneficial to some of you who are like, oh yeah.
You're not. You're not doing that.
Are you done? Kathy's done.
We are. We're done. You didn't do them all.
Right. Okay. Take a breath. Well, I was explaining things, Kathy. I was explaining things. See, most classes don't have professional counters, you know. They make the leader is supposed to count, but I just kind of talk because there's things I have to talk about. Okay, take a big deep breath, come like this, and just come right down here, and then come right back and bring them down. See that? So tight tummy, always tight tummy, shoulders are down. Do a hug, and then act like you're gonna drop down. And this is the position if your plane's going down. If your plane's going down, this is what you have to do. Tuck and drop. So I want to make sure you can do this in case your plane's going down. Take a breath and come back. So this move that I'm doing, cross, push, tuck, that's a very important functional mobility. I don't think I have to go into all the reasons why, but it is a very good move to end on and to make sure that you're able to do. Okay? Take a big deep breath. And we will call it a day. I'm going to go ahead and stop recording.